Hey, it's great to be back with you here on Convergence Mentoring Moments. It's the middle of January, and I'm excited about everything God's doing this year in me and in my family. Specifically for me in the area of growing and knowing His goodness. I ended 2019 asking the Lord, what did He want me to study? What did He want me to grow in this new year? And He specifically told me, knowing my goodness. And I responded to that with, so how do you want me to grow in knowing your goodness? Do you want me to read a book? There's really great books out there. I do love to read. And he simply responded, goodness looks like me, Nikki. It looks like Jesus. And so I immediately knew that I just needed to dive into the Gospels in a fresh way and study Jesus and look at Jesus with new eyes and encounter His goodness like never before for this year. So I've been doing that, and it's been fun. I enjoyed reading the stories again about Jesus healing people, driving out darkness. I don't know, I've just had this fresh awe and wonder about Jesus as I've been reading through the Gospels. And as I was reading in it, I came into Mark 6, which is an interesting passage. Jesus has been traveling all around, and he goes home. He goes to his hometown. And it says that he gets there, and he's preaching powerfully, right? And they're in awe and wonder about his wisdom and his power. But then it says that the people from his hometown, Nazareth, were offended with him. And Jesus quotes the famous quote that most of us know, even a prophet is without honor in his hometown. And it goes on to say how he wasn't able to do many miracles there, and because of their lack of faith and because they were offended. Now, I've read that story hundreds of times, all growing up, and I've always viewed it as his hometown, Nazareth, right, is a geographical location, and Jesus is teaching me the principle that sometimes when you grow up with people and they come back home or whatever, right, then you're not as impressed with them maybe as other people. You don't honor them as much as people who don't know them as well, right? Ooh, ah, that type of stuff. And but as I was reading this, I felt the Holy Spirit pierce my heart, and I was a little bit, taken aback, since I wasn't expecting this particular story to grip me so much. But I felt the Holy Spirit say, what if the hometown isn't a geographical location like Nazareth? What if the hometown is you, Nikki? What if the hometown is your heart? What if the hometown is your life, and that you've grown up with Jesus? You know so much about him. You're really familiar with him. But maybe there's places in your heart, Nikki, where you've been offended. Maybe Jesus didn't do what you wanted him to do or how you wanted him to do it. Maybe right now you hear him, you know a lot about him, but you don't actually know him, and you're not seeing him the way he is meant to be seen. And therefore, you're not experiencing Jesus fully. Well, as you can imagine, this has really gripped me. I actually read that passage over a week ago, and I can't get away from it. I can't get away from this deep humility that's gripping my heart of how familiar am I with Jesus? Am I familiar in the he's there, I know all about him way, but he really can't do much because I'm not standing in awe and wonder of Jesus. I think there's honor that we give to others around us for who they are and what they do, and I believe in that. But the honor that starts with Jesus doesn't end in just simple honor. I feel like he's telling me that when I stop to really press into the honor of Jesus, I come into a place of profound worship of him, where I'm exalting him above every circumstance in my life, in all of the situations that I face, that it's Jesus, that it's only Jesus, that it's always going to be Jesus. I remember one time I was talking with a friend who had been through a lot of hard circumstances. I don't really have judgment about it. It was heartbreaking. And there was a lot of offense in this person's heart about God and what he did and what he didn't do. And, sometimes I feel like we put God on trial You know, like in our human judgment and our human understanding, we weigh the balances of what we believe God should and should not be doing and the outcome events. And I know I've done it, so I don't, like I said, I don't have judgment in this case. But I remember really being overwhelmed and just by this person's profound discouragement and heartache and disappointment. And the thought entered in my mind of, maybe God really has wronged this person, you know, and maybe I should consider that. And then all of a sudden I saw the cross. And I remember just quietly looking at my friend and saying, I get it. I get that your life has been one train wreck after the other. My life hasn't been perfect. There's certainly been a huge amount of pain and trials and tribulations. But what about Jesus dying on the cross? And honestly, my friend wasn't really moved by that. And I think my friend's saved and going to go to heaven. What grieved me in that moment was, when it's all said and done, whatever I know or I don't know about what Jesus is or isn't doing on the planet, I do know this. He died on the cross. He rose from the dead. And he will have the final say in everything in our lives. And I don't want him just to have the final say when it's all said and done and we're standing in heaven with him. I want Jesus, who's very present in this hometown of my heart and my life and in my family, to have the final say over the circumstances that we're facing today. I want him to have the final say and the utmost power and authority in my home right here, so that it's not said about me and my family, Jesus couldn't do much in that home because we were offended with him or we were just too familiar with him, that we didn't stand in awe of the most amazing God, the God who became flesh, the God who died and rose from the dead for me. I really wanted to share that today with you in Convergence Mentoring Moments. I don't know exactly what the mentoring part of it is, except I pray wherever you are in your journey with Jesus, that you would encounter him in a fresh way today, that it would inspire awe, wonder, honor, and that you, like me, would fall on your knees and just worship and exalt him today over whatever you're facing, over whatever trial and tribulation. Jesus Christ is more than we could ever ask for or imagine. And I think he wants to do more than what we could ask for or imagine today. Bless you.